The book of Ecclesiastes, often attributed to the preacher, traditionally thought to be King Solomon, is a profound and sometimes perplexing book of wisdom literature in the Old Testament. Its central theme revolves around the vanity or meaninglessness, Hebrew, hevel of life under the sun, meaning life apart from God's ultimate purpose and judgment. However, it ultimately concludes with a powerful call to fear God and keep His commandments. Here's a chapter-by-chapter summary with main lessons. Chapter 1. All is Vanity. Summary. The preacher introduces his core message. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. He observes the cyclical nature of life, sun rising and setting, winds blowing, rivers flowing, and how human endeavors seem to achieve nothing new or lasting. He explores the pursuit of wisdom but finds that increasing knowledge only increases sorrow. Main lesson. Life's activities and pursuits, when viewed solely from a human perspective and apart from God, are ultimately futile and unsatisfying. They offer no lasting meaning or fulfillment because all things are temporary and forgotten. Chapter 2. The Futility of Pleasure, Work, and Wisdom. Summary. The preacher experiments with various paths to find meaning, pleasure, laughter, wine, building projects, wealth, and sensual gratification. He finds that even these great achievements and enjoyments are ultimately vanity and a striving after wind. He then compares wisdom and folly, concluding that while wisdom is better, both the wise and the foolish eventually die the same death, rendering their earthly efforts equal in the end. Main lesson. Material possessions, worldly pleasures, and even human wisdom, when pursued as ends in themselves, fail to bring lasting satisfaction or overcome the reality of death. Chapter 4. Oppression, Toil, and Loneliness. Summary. The preacher observes the pervasive oppression and injustice in the world, noting that the oppressed have no comforter. He concludes that those who have never been born are better off than those who suffer. He also highlights the futility of working endlessly for wealth without companionship and the benefits of companionship over solitary striving. Main lesson. Injustice and suffering are prevalent in the world, adding to the vanity of life. Human striving for success and wealth can be hollow if it leads to loneliness or is driven by envy. There is wisdom in companionship and moderation. Chapter 5. Guard your steps. Summary. This chapter gives practical advice regarding approaching God and wealth. It warns against rash vows and excessive talk before God, emphasizing the importance of listening and fearing God. It also speaks against the love of money, observing that the more one has, the more anxieties they acquire. The preacher again suggests that enjoying one's labor and simple gifts is a good thing from God. Main lesson. Approach God with reverence and sincerity, not empty words. The pursuit of wealth is an insatiable desire that brings more trouble than satisfaction. Contentment and enjoying the fruit of one's labor are God-given blessings. Chapter 6. Unfulfilled Desire. Summary. The preacher presents a tragic scenario. A person who has abundant wealth and honor but is unable to enjoy it, or dies prematurely without fully experiencing life. He reiterates that a stillborn child is better off than such a person because they never knew the vanity of life. Main lesson. True satisfaction is not found in accumulation of wealth or long life itself, but in the ability to enjoy what one has, which is a gift from God. Without this enjoyment, even great riches are meaningless. Chapter 7. Wisdom and Adversity. Summary. This chapter offers various proverbs and observations about wisdom, suffering, and the nature of humanity. It suggests that a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death is better than the day of birth. It speaks of the value of sorrow, rebuke, and patience. The preacher grapples with the paradox that both the righteous and wicked can suffer or prosper, and that humans have sought many schemes but failed to find true righteousness. Main lesson. Wisdom involves embracing the difficult realities of life, including suffering and death, as opportunities for growth and perspective. True righteousness and understanding are elusive for humanity apart from God. Chapter 8. The Limits of Human Knowledge and Justice. Summary. The preacher advises obedience to the king and acknowledges the difficulty of understanding God's ways in the world. He notes that while evildoers often prosper and the righteous suffer, no one can fully comprehend God's work. He again urges enjoyment of life's simple pleasures, as this is all one has under the sun. Main lesson: human authority should be respected, but God's justice and plans are often beyond our understanding. Despite apparent injustices, finding joy in daily life is a gift from God, as the ultimate outcome is unknown. Chapter 9: The Common Fate. Summary: the preacher emphasizes that the same fate, death, awaits everyone, whether righteous or wicked, wise or foolish. Therefore, he advises living life with joy and vigor while one can, as there is no work or knowledge in the grave. He also notes that time and chance happen to them all, and that wisdom, though valuable, is often overlooked or disrespected by the powerful. Main lesson: death is the ultimate equalizer. Since life is short and uncertain, we should make the most of the present by enjoying simple pleasures and engaging in our work, acknowledging that ultimate control is not ours. Chapter 10: Folly and Wisdom in Action. Summary: this chapter presents a series of observations and proverbs illustrating the contrast between wisdom and folly in practical life. A little folly can spoil much wisdom, and foolishness often leads to self-destruction and societal problems. Main lesson: wisdom is practical and brings good outcomes, while folly leads to error and ruin. Even small acts of foolishness can have significant negative consequences. Chapter 11: Seize the Day, Remember the Future. Summary: the preacher encourages enterprise and generosity. Cast your bread upon the waters, because one does not know what adversity may come. He advises enjoying youth and prosperity, but with the understanding that God will bring every deed into judgment. Main lesson: live life fully and embrace opportunities, including acts of generosity, without excessive worry about the future, for it is uncertain. However, remember that all actions are accountable to God. Chapter 12: Remember Your Creator. Summary: this concluding chapter is a vivid poetic description of old age and the inevitable decline of the body, leading to death. The spirit returns to God, who gave it. The preacher then summarizes his entire message, emphasizing the fleeting nature of all earthly endeavors. Main lesson: remember and revere God in your youth before the frailties of old age and the certainty of death arrive. Overall conclusion: Ecclesiastes 12 verses 13 to 14. Main lesson: the ultimate whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments, for God will bring every deed into judgment, whether good or evil. This provides the ultimate meaning and purpose that all the pursuits under the sun could not.